From the studios of KENW on the campus of Eastern New Mexico University, it's You Should Know, featuring the people and events of Eastern New Mexico and West Texas.
Welcome to You Should Know. I'm your host, Evelyn, and today I have the pleasure of a returning guest who has been with us several times and just a lady that is faceted in so many parts of her life and always a pleasure, Dr. Anu Ogunleye. And you are an assistant professor in the Department of Agriculture, Food Science, and Kinesiology. Did I get all that right?
Yes, you did.
Here at ENMU.
Yes.
So Anu, so nice to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Always. And I think you're just kind of coming back in from being gone some and
yes,
it's been a crazy summer.
Yes, it is. I've been on the field all morning, and there we are. That's practically where I spent my summer.
Well, let's dig back just a little bit prior to people that haven't watched prior episodes of your history, of just kind of a condensed version of your history and how you landed at ENMU.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll be brief. So in 2022, I graduated from my terminal degree at the University of Nevada, Reno, and I was looking for a job. I applied to so many schools, companies. I knew that I wanted to teach because that has always been my passion. But eventually, one of my colleagues introduced me to a professor that we met at the conference and said to apply. So I applied for the position of a postdoc at NMSU in Clovis, the Ag Center. So I was called in for the interview. Long story short, I resumed second week of January 2023, and I was there with them for 6 months. And I was kind of like just messing around, applying, not necessarily because I was tired of where I was, but I was just applying with that. I would always say that had God written all over it because I wasn't expecting anything, but I did just put my application in for an assistant professor here at Eastern. I didn't even tell my husband about it because I didn't want to get anybody's hopes up. And I went for the first interview. He didn't know about it. Then he was a student here at Eastern, and I was called in for the on-campus visit. And that morning, he already left for classes, and I called him and I said, babe, in case you see me at your school today, I'm coming over for an interview.
By the way.
So, by the way. So it was like, okay. And the interview was a success, and yes.
Tell us where home was originally.
Oh, I'm from Nigeria. I was born in Ibadan, in the southwestern part of Nigeria. That's where I'm from.
And you did your undergrad work in Nigeria, correct?
Yes.
In agriculture.
Yes, my undergraduate studies was in agronomy at the University of Ibadan. It's the premier university, the first university in Nigeria. And I had my bachelor's in 2008. That was when I graduated. And my master's also from the same university in 2010. So I took like a gap year. I was working until I decided to come for my PhD in 2019, travel to the United States of America for my PhD. So between my master's and my PhD, that was 10 years. And within 9 years, actually, within that 9 years was me raising a family. I got married in 2012, and I have my 2 beautiful kids. They're now 13 and 10. So.
And a beautiful husband to go along with that.
Oh, yeah.
Your rock.
Is the best. Is my number one fun. Hi, Jimmy.
That's fun. That's fun. Those people that keep us grounded and keep us going from day to day.
Yes.
So, well, you have started a project here at the university that is just unreal, and it's called Feed the Hounds Initiative.
Yes.
Tell me how you came up with this concept.
Okay. First, and this is not a cliche, honestly. It was a God idea. And it was born out of the fact that I understand that many people are in a survival mode, quote and unquote, of I need to care for me, I need to attend to me, I need to take care of this, I need to take care of that. And many a times we don't see what is going on with our neighbors or what is going on with our colleagues or what is going on with other students. And I was a graduate student once, and I had the culture shock, and I knew what it means to have a lot back in Nigeria. and coming to United States, and I knew what it means to have scarcity, not so much food on my table because it was a new environment and I didn't have a lot. My husband was back in Nigeria then, and converting Naira to dollars was not fun. So all of that summer of 2025, if I'm right, that's last year, I was just, because I'm not on contract during the summer, and I sat there and I was like, I have requested for a land. That was the first thing that I asked for when I came on board here. I asked my boss, Dr. Baldock, to make my request known to the administration that I needed a piece of land to do my research. And that was granted. I was given an acre of land, and that was just lying there. So I knew that I didn't have enough of those resources. I needed a lot, tractor and all of that. I knew I did not have it, but I asked myself, what did I have? I have myself, I have the gift of family, I have the gift of friends. So I reached out to the physical plant and my boss that I want to start working on that land. I want to start this project. And I was there. I ran the idea by Dr. Baldock because when the idea came to me, the name also came to me. Greyhounds, that's, I'm like, okay, let's go feed the hounds. And I remember that as a college student, there's this scripture that I always confess to myself. It's in Deuteronomy. It says, I lend to nations and I don't borrow, but I kind of like transform that to I feed the nations and I don't borrow. So I say that confession to myself. It's part of my confession. I feed the nations and I don't borrow. I feed the nations. I say that to myself. So when the name Feed the Hounds came to me, I knew that it was off of the confession that I've been made several years back. And the land was there. There was nothing. I knew, okay, let's go for it. I reached out to the physical plants, helped me break the ground because that land had not been farmed in 20 years.
And it was just hard as a rock.
Yes. We didn't have enough, but what they had, they kind of like tilled it up for me and myself, my kids, my family, and Sissy. Sissy has been there with me, Dr. Nyabado, in College of Education, and Cindy, a couple of other volunteers. If I miss your name, I'm sorry. It's
so many people have helped you. So many
people. And they came, we planted together, we tilled, some of the chefs even joined in. And yeah, so I decided that was going to be not just a community garden where volunteers can come and engage. I wanted to have like the framework of research and education, involve the K-12 STEM education, just reach out to the members of my community and serving everybody the God way. That has been my number one goal, to make organic produce available to everyone and everyone. And
you started out, the first one at the physical plant was mostly in containers, right? Like horse tank looking container gardens. Yes.
I started by the, like you said, the physical plant, and they had just removed the old greenhouse, and I reached out to, I think it was John Camo, I can't remember, that I would like to use this small piece of land by the greenhouse. Mm-hmm. And he was like, okay, yeah, go ahead. I don't have a problem with that. And I started working with that. I didn't have sprinkler. There was nothing. So I would literally pull garden hose and, water. And I started that one to kind of like give the produce to the CDC kids, to chef, to cook for the CDC kids.
Which is the Child Development Center here on campus.
Yes, on campus, because that wasn't big enough for everyone.
Sure.
So once I was able to get the 1 acre field started, I started last year. Last year, we gave out approximately 20,000 pounds of produce off of that field.
That's amazing. I know you brought baskets here at the station and just said, help yourself.
Yes.
And we enjoyed it immensely.
Yes. I was literally knocking at doors because it was weird at first. Like, why are you giving us stuff? I'm like, yeah, I just cultivated this, and I would like you to, I wanted to share with you. I went from one department because it was during the summer.
Right.
The students were not on campus, and I was going to departments to deliver to them. I went to food bank, the food bank of Eastern New Mexico. I gave some to them until school resumed. Then I started sending, Melissa would help me send out emails, and I was delivering at the GSSC, and people would come and pick.
And pick up the groceries,
Yes,
the produce there.
Yes.
So tell me what you grew in the garden in that 1 acre plot. What all did you grow?
Okay, last year, I didn't fully cultivate it. Let me just say it was the 3/4 of the acre because I was tired at some point because my husband had to go to work and all the volunteers. So it was literally me doing most of the work. So I couldn't plant in all the 1 acre, but the 3/4 that I planted, I had pumpkins, I had watermelon, and we had our first pumpkin patch last year, the free community event. I had beans, I had cucumbers. Oh my goodness, the cucumbers went wild. Like I had tons. I think I harvested about 6,000 pounds
Of cucumbers.
Yes, yes, there were a lot. I had peppers, tomatoes. What else did I have? Okra. Yes.
Maybe squash.
Oh yeah, patty pan squash, zucchinis. Yes.
And I think you brought maybe some lettuce type items
Yes,
in
I
as
did.
well to us.
The smaller field, I had the herbs, my parsley, basil. I had those ones there.
Has it been a big transition where you've grown gardens other places, the adaptation to growing here in our climate and the drought? Or is that similar to when you were going to school at Las Cruces?
It was actually in Clovis, not Clovis here. So back in Clovis, NMSU, what we did was just focus. That's my area of expertise, soil health. So we were dealing with wheat and cover crops and all of that. That was
Right.
what we were doing, how to make the soil better. And which is kind of like what I incorporated into my garden. My garden is purely organic, and it feeds off of 3 conservation practices, which is crop diversification. Then I do cover cropping and also incorporate compost. So all 3 go right at different times. That's what I do. I don't add any chemical, and I pull weeds. They drive me nuts, but
But they're there and then they drop those seeds and
Yes.
come back the next year.
Yes.
Why is it
Yeah.
that weeds seem to do so much better than produce?
They just have that. In fact, I know that there has been studies on weeds and how there's the genetic coding there that we need to figure out what is going on. They just compete. They outcompete the crops. They are fast growing, especially the volunteer ones. The pig weeds. Oh my goodness. And their roots are fast growing and they can grow really deep. So they are very, very competitive. So
I know I was gone from home about 7 days, and I got back, and I had little baby weeds, and 7 days later, they're here. So I'm out there pulling and hoeing, and
That happened
because
to
they just go nuts, and if you don't get them, all of a sudden they're 6, 8 feet tall.
this year, when I traveled with my family to Orlando, and when I came back, and I looked at my field, it was like I planted weeds. That was
You couldn't even find
like,
anything in there.
No. So I reached out to volunteers and they came out to help me pull the weeds, and I'm always super grateful to them.
So this year you've expanded,
Yes.
and you've gotten more of a volunteer program going.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Okay, so this year I reached out to community members, not just faculty members. I went on Facebook, like, okay, if you want to take it out on the weeds, you're having a stressful day and you would like to take it out on the weeds, just come volunteer on the field. And I remember that I had a meeting with my boss, Dr. Baldock, and the dean, and that was one of the feedback. I was, okay, how can we make it better? So involving the community members more and making it out. I usually ask for help within my college, and now I made it campus-wide and community-wide. And I got like a couple, at least 6 new volunteers.
Good.
From last year. So
People don't always realize what an acre looks like. That's a lot of land.
It is.
It's a lot of land to
It
try to
is.
keep clean.
It is.
And,
Yeah.
and so just people started showing up, and
Yes.
I know you said you still don't have cultivators and tractors and things
No,
like
we
that,
still-
so it's all
no,
by
it's
all by hand.
yes, it's all by hand.
Hoeing and pulling by
Yeah.
hand.
So let me back up to last
Okay.
year. Last year, it was, like I said, it was nothing. We didn't have sprinklers. And this is shout out to physical plants guys. You guys are the best. Oh my goodness, they've got my back. Yes. So last year, I only just got this sprinkler, which I thought that was going to work on an acre, but it wasn't going to even cover anything. So I planted. We all kind of like did the work. And for more than 3 weeks, they told me, oh, your sprinkler will not work, but Dr. B will work with the physical plant guys to see how we can put an underground sprinkler for you and all of that. And in the process of getting the money and fixing that, it went on for like 3 or 4 weeks. And there was no water, and I already planted. I prayed for rain. That was the first miracle for me, because my seeds did not die. There was no water, there was nothing.
So that lack of rain actually just left everything alone versus getting a little rain and it sprouting and then dying because not having water.
Yeah. So eventually we had rain after rain, and then the sprinkler was set up for me. So now I have water in that land.
Is it drip? Is it underground?
No, it's underground sprinkler above. It's just the
piping?
Yes, the piping.
Okay, question. We saw a pit when we were getting some footage. Is that a reservoir pond that you pump into and then feed out of that?
No,
Okay.
I don't have a reservoir.
Okay, because in the old days, you pumped water into a reservoir, and when you row watered, then you pulled out of it because your wells didn't produce enough.
No.
Okay,
No,
all right.
that wasn't.
Okay, so
no.
we were looking at something different.
Yeah, so, but this year, I've been blessed with water, so water is not the problem for me this year because the sprinkler is there. But the weeds, and yeah, I know that I digressed a little bit. The volunteers, so I send out Google form, the links for them to pick times that are available to them. I'm always I live in Clovis, and I always come out as early as sometimes 5:30.
Wow.
Because it doesn't get bright until like 6-ish.
Right. Sunrise is much later as we get past solstice.
Yeah. So they come, they volunteer. They come around at 6 o'clock, but I'm already there. And we have one of my youngest volunteer. Her name is Angelica. Is one of the staff's daughter, actually. She's been coming and helping out a lot. So, and yeah, there are people, my college guys, some of them would come and they will at least minimum 2 hours with me on the field. And when they leave, I continue and
keep going.
Well, and this year, I was able to get a student worker off of my freed, the internal grant that I got like this little money to hire a student worker.
Oh, good.
Encourage, he was a graduate student here, worked with me on that. So.
And the hard part, for you could probably if gardens happened during semesters, you could get the students to get involved. But everything's going during the summer when most of the classes are online and they're not on campus.
I know. One of the things that I did differently this year was delay my planting because I know that we have extended summer. So I delayed my planting a little bit so that I can still have my students' involvement on the field. They're going to be there with me working.
Because typically this is when the produce starts coming off.
Yes.
So this was so fun yesterday. We went out and this is all things from your garden.
And last year when I took my students, I always like the look on their faces when they see watermelon. Some of them have never seen watermelon grow or okra grow before. They don't know what it looks like.
Right.
So I go ahead, teach them how to know when your watermelon is ripe. And Cody taught me that.
I always thump it if it's hollow.
Cody taught me a method that will not fail you. Cody Kirkwood in physical plant. He said to look at the tendril closest to this.
Right.
And once it dries up completely,
then it's ready.
It's ready.
So when
it doesn't fail, the tendril, the coily.
So when this part where it attaches to the plant, when it dries and gets brown.
No, the part attached to the plant, there is always a tendril on that is close to it.
Oh, okay.
The tendril is that coily.
Oh, the cold part.
Yes.
That little.
The one closest to the part that is attached to the plant. The moment it's all dried up, then it's ready.
See, and I've been around farming my whole life.
It doesn't feel. I didn't know that either.
When they sounded hollow. Well, I was tickled. We found a little pumpkin, and you have something in the fall that you do.
Yes.
Where tell us about that. I'll let you talk.
Okay. So when I planted pumpkin last year, I was like, what do I do with all of this pumpkin? Then I had this idea that I don't think we have a pumpkin patch for the students, faculty, and anyone that is just interested in coming to pick free pumpkin. So I set up this free pumpkin pickup. I didn't harvest it. It was just still there. You go there and pick yours, whatever shape, size, color you want. I had the wide variety and different types. And it was a huge success. it rained that day. I was like, are people going to come? People showed up with umbrellas, and it was really fun. And Elida kids, that's my favorite story to tell. So the kids in Elida, Carrie reached out to me that the kids at Elida school always go to this pumpkin patch, and this year something happened. Is it okay if they come to my field? I'm like, yes. And I could see the joy on those kids. It was the highlight of my year. And I'm excited they are coming again this year.
Oh, very nice.
I don't know when yet, but
I
will be having them.
We grew
over.
up growing most of our meats, our pork, our beef, our chickens. We always had a huge garden, and we picked and we processed and put it up. We ate pumpkins for pumpkin pie. It wasn't so much for jack-o'-lanterns and holidays. It was truly chopping it up and boiling it. And if people have not ever had a fresh pumpkin pie or pumpkin bread versus out of the can,
I know.
That's good stuff.
I'm thinking maybe we should have a pumpkin pie competition this year.
That would be pretty fun. I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah.
Anytime I tried to lose weight, my mom would make me pumpkin pies without the crust, because that's where all of your butter is at.
Yeah.
But I just love the filling. So just real quick, we're kind of getting short on time.
Okay.
Just run us through what all we do have up here.
Okay. This is pumpkin, this is watermelon, and this is summer squash, and this is butternut squash. This is zucchini. This is another variety of zucchini. This is the biggest thing on my field this year.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how I missed it, and it just grew this big.
And the seeds are just going to be huge, so it's not going to be good to eat.
I'm going to keep it for the seeds. Yeah, and that is the patty pan. I've been having a lot of this, and many people have been asking me how to make it. So I would have a QR code for people to send in recipe to share with as many of us as possible. But I try to share some of my recipe with them. It is just like squash. It is a kind of squash. So you can bake it and you just share the recipe with me too. So, and if you go online and look for recipes for patty pan, there are quite a lot of
That'd be fun if you happen to have a site where people could share their recipes. Like I would share my pumpkin pie recipe.
Yeah, we actually have an Instagram account, Feed the Hounds _ENMU.
Okay.
It's an approved account. So you can go ahead and just look it up and share your recipes with us, or take pictures. If you picked produce and you made something, share your pictures with us on what you made. That would be really, really nice.
If people have questions and want to volunteer, how do they get in touch with you?
My email, anu.ogunleye@enmu.edu.
Okay.
Yes.
And we'll get that where people can see that. And so just contact you. And I know you would probably, because you've got a lot of work ahead of you still.
Yes.
A lot.
I know, a lot. The weeds, I need a whole week of pulling out weeds now before I eventually harvest everything. Yeah.
Whew. Well, I saw you have wagons and wheelbarrows, and there's probably still equipment and things like that you could use that if people wanted to donate or share.
Yeah.
I bet you would be open to that as well.
Yes, I will. I will. And the school was so generous to open a giving account, and under the one rule. So you can go on the ENMU website and just search for Feed the Hounds Giving. So I think no amount is too small. $50. People have been giving like $50, and that goes into buying seeds and all of that. Yes,
because it's expensive.
Yeah, that is
the fertilizer and everything else that you do is expensive. And
so,
but there's such a feeling. I had a container garden and it's small this year, but I've been eating fresh tomatoes and different things of a morning when I water. And it's just such a nice feeling. Bring things to work and share.
I love
that.
satisfying. And I always tell people, like, there's this off of my, just grow. If there's one thing, one produce or one crop that you would grow and you don't have to go buy at Walmart and just grow it. If it's tomatoes, or you don't have to go buy at your local store, wherever that is. If it's squash will run out your ears. Just plant it. Yeah. And it's so satisfying to just have that fresh off of your backyard and just...
It goes back to our roots of how we started.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Anu, this has been great. We've got the information of where they can contact you on website and your Instagram and get involved and volunteer. And thank you for all the things that you do for our students and for all of us that get to enjoy this and learn. It's a pleasure. Always, always, always.
Thank you. Thank you for always having me. And I'm just more than happy that I can share this with everyone on headset. And if you would like to volunteer, let me know.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again. And for all of you joining us today, thank you. And we will see you next time. Cheers.